Live, it says. Live. It says we are live on this Thursday of, it's kind of game week. Let's be honest. No, none of this week 0 stuff. It's all a part of week 1. In the college football world, y'all, enough of us complained about how stupid it was to call something week 0 because it can't exist. And they changed it, and now it's all week 1, and it goes on for like 15 days, which also is not a week. But that said, you do have games coming up in a couple of days. You realize that, right? Iowa State and somebody, they're playing over there in Kansas State. They're playing in Dublin, Ireland. One of our loyal listeners on the live stream, Sven's going to go. So we're getting close, and you have some scrimmages. Do they still call them jamborees? Do we still even use that term? We're going to have that tomorrow night. High schools around the state squaring off, doing a little scrimmaging. Get that in before the season starts. So, man, we are really getting close. And imagine this, okay? Imagine this. 1 week from today, we're going to be sitting there going, game week. Not only game week, but like we're playing each other. Right? Looking forward to that. All right, get on in here. Love to hear from you today. You can be a part of the show in lots of different ways. You could comment on the live stream, the aforementioned live stream, if you're on Facebook or YouTube. Hey to y'all. Twitter or X, formerly Twitter. Type in a comment. Post it. I can pop it up on the screen and everybody can see it. You can be a part of the conversation that way. You could text me as well on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. That's a 601 number, 885-3776. Or we've welcomed you this week. We're on day 4 of welcoming to the show our friends at the Junction and Prince Oil Company. Choo choo. That's right. The Junction Delis, fueled by Prince Oil Company and fueling Mississippi since 1960. Fuel for your vehicle, fuel for your stomach, all points in between. So call me on the Junction phone line. The number to call is 897-1059. Got it? That's a 601 number. 897-1059. So get on in here. Before I go any further, it is a tradition on this show. Taste the tradition, they say. This is a tradition on this show that I generally hit the button and come to Beaver to talk to Beaver at a time when he's busy. Let's see if that's true today. A tradition unlike any other. That's the Masters. Hey, B! Happy Thursday, sir.
Not busy here, Matt Wyatt. I'm not doing a thing at this moment.
Boy, you're not out there doing big projects like Bill?
No, not like Bill. Like Bill claims.
Good old Bill. All right, good. So, Beaver, do you think it's fair to call all of this week 1, even though it lasts for longer than 1 week?
Man, it's dumb. The week 0 thing still sounds dumb.
Yep.
But there's some games, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because it's good and bad. You get games here, which technically is a week. Like, week 0 is not a thing.
It can't be, can it?
But they're mostly pointless games.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they serve any purpose other than we've already been waiting for 236 days. We can't possibly wait 7 more.
Yeah. Hey, this is just completely non sequitur out of nowhere, but remember when, I guess, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, when you and others on the text line were celebrating simultaneously with the construction on the road over there on Highway 43 being done. They opened it back up. Everything good now on your drive home, to and fro?
Yeah, it's been so much better.
Okay. Did you see what Robbie just texted us?
No.
Look at that. There's a picture. Hey, Matt, hope your day's going good. Just hanging out on I-20 for an hour now.
Gross.
I know. I wonder Robbie, what part of I-20? And I wonder if it's an accident, which you certainly hope not, or is it construction related? Hey, I got one more construction question for you, B, because, I've had a couple of weeks off of coming to Jackson and haven't been down. Down there around the Capitol, where 55 intersects with I-20, what do they call that? The stack?
Yeah.
All that. Are they still working on that?
Let's see. I was down. I don't often go that way. In fact, I tried to avoid the interstate because of reasons like that.
Yeah.
So the last time I saw it 2 weeks ago, Friday, and it was all jacked up. And it was at night too, which is the worst time because you couldn't see what was coming. It wasn't lit up very well. Imagine
that. Well, I just know that's been a real hassle for anybody going down that way, having to travel through there. And I even had a hassle with it, and I didn't go through there during the heaviest traffic time of the day. So I bet folks they'll be glad when that's done. I mean, you got to work on the roads from time to time, but my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So we got that squared away. And here we are. Like I said, a tradition unlike any other. Just go ahead and taste tradition. Here's another tradition. Headlines early in the show. Here we go.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group. Powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. My man gave me this cool hat, this Mortgage Man hat I'm wearing. My favorite color, green, with a leather patch on the front. Look at that, Mortgage Man Group. It's actually one of the best fitting hats I've ever had. Thank you, wherever you are, bud. Headline number one, talking about these first week games and how much they do or don't matter. Check this out. Missouri is going to play 2 quarterbacks in their season opener, and they are announcing that it is part of the competition to win the starting job. I mean, look, Missouri's going to play Central Arkansas, and they're going to go ahead and announce this thing. It's a week from today, by the way. They play on a Thursday next week. Missouri will use 2 quarterbacks in its season opener against Central Arkansas on Thursday as the competition between Pribula and Sam Horn continues. How about that? Announce it. Every fan in the stadium, every player on both teams knows every play is factoring into whether or not you're winning the job as our quarterback. I do not like handling it that way as a coach. It doesn't make much sense to me at all. But I will continue. Also, headline number 2, college football related. Northwestern and their former football coach, Pat Fitzgerald, easy for me to say, Pat Fitzgerald, have settled the lawsuit between each other. Northwestern, former football coach, by the way, former player at Northwestern, have settled a lawsuit filed by Fitzgerald after his dismissal from the school 2 years ago. Now, whatever the settlement is, they have not disclosed the terms. But he was suing the school for $130 million for wrongful termination. He was fired in July of 2023. They fired him because they were having these allegations of hazing. The president of the school signed said they were widespread, not a secret, and all that kind of stuff. They fired him for it. He sued them. They've settled out of court. It's over. We don't know what we do not know the settlement terms. And finally, this, which leads me to a question. It's a 2-parter. Have you ever, whoever you root for, whichever games you've attended over the years, if you're listening, have you ever stormed the field after a game? Have you ever been a part of fans storming the field after a football game? If the answer is yes, I'm going to need some stories. I've been out there on the field as a player when the field got stormed, but I've never been a part of a fan group where I'm in the stands and we hop the fence and all that kind of stuff. So I'd love to hear your stories. Here's why I'm mentioning that, because your schools are getting fined now for that. Have been, and some are like, that's worth it, whatever. Okay. From Fayetteville, Arkansas. Arkansas will allow football fans to rush the field following big wins, but only after a delay so that the Razorbacks can avoid hefty fines. So the SEC, they updated their policy, $500,000 fines. That goes across all sports if you fans run out there. The conference can waive the fine if the visiting team and officials are allowed to reach the locker room before the fans descend. So what Arkansas is saying is, if you'll just wait 3 minutes, if after this happens, instead of right away, if you'll just wait 3 minutes, I guarantee you they will. They'll put some message up on the video board and do a countdown of the time that once it gets to 0, it's time for, visiting players are in the locker room. They're gone. Officials are gone. And now come on in. So you can storm the field if you just hang on a minute or two. And that way you can avoid the fine because it says they can get the SEC to waive it. So I guess, that specifically, it's like, do you think fans are going to, abide by it? Arkansas announced yesterday that 3 minutes will be placed on the video boards inside the stadium to delay the rush, and it allows the visiting team, the staff, and the officials to exit the field, and then you can go. So will it work? Will big swaths of emotional and half liquored up fans obey any sort of rule? Well, I think they will. I think you can get them to do it because, back when State did the cowbell thing, the ring responsibly cowbell thing, where, we want you to stop ringing when the opposing center gets over the ball and I was like, Scott Strickland and those guys, like, I love y'all to death, but that is not going to work. There's no way. They were like, it'll work. Yeah, we'll promote it enough, and I think our fans will buy in. We just tell them how important it is that we abide by the rule. They'll do it. I'm like, hey, it's not going to, everybody's just going to ring. I was a heck of a doubter, and they proved me wrong because the first time it happened, I went, I can't believe what I'm hearing. It worked. The first game after that, ring, 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 clinga, clinga, clinga. The opposing center goes to get over the ball, and everybody started just yelling, and the ringing stopped. I could not believe it. I did not think it would ever happen. It happened. So I got to stop doubting this stuff. I think Arkansas people will maybe get the message and maybe go by it, look and wait. We got to wait 3 minutes. And look, 3 minutes is a long time to wait on storming the field. It's going to feel like an eternity. I think they'll do it. I think they'll pull it off. What do you think? Those are your headlines. Brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. My friend texted me and said, will they win a game worth rushing the field? That's the question. Now, apparently they intend to do it. All right? Apparently they intend to do it. And I guess everybody does. But who would it be? Now, I know personally one diehard Arkansas fan who listens to this radio show. Y'all know him too. He is Hog Jowl. Okay, and he may have a better feeling for Arkansas this year and their team and how good they're going to be. I don't know. But I know this. They are hosting Notre Dame in week 5. They host Alabama A&M and Arkansas State. Then they go to Ole Miss and Memphis back-to-back. Then they're going to host Notre Dame on September 27th before an open day. So there's one where if you win that one, they're going to want to storm the field, right? Then depending on records and how big the games are when you run up on them, they have later home games, a 3-game home stretch against A&M, Auburn, and Mississippi State. Their games at the end of the year at LSU and at Texas are back-to-back, but they're on the road. And then they finish the year hosting Missouri. So it looks to me like maybe Notre Dame, and if they were to have a magical year and like cap it off with some dramatic win over Missouri or something in the season finale, then maybe they would want to do it then. And I guess you could say A&M and Auburn too, but the A&M thing is not a home game, right? They're going to play that on a neutral site. Have you ever stormed the field? Coming to your comments. Will is on YouTube. He's on the live stream here, and he says, man, I was ready to storm the field against Alabama in 2017, but alas, Dan had us play conservative, and Jalen Hurts won the day for the Tide. Well, and that's the thing, though. It wasn't conservative. It was, a 4th down deal, blitzing them, and they hit you a one-on-one. There's nobody left. So you gambled, and it paid off for them. So you were ready to go then, huh? Hale State fan talking about State said, we're not Oxford or Baton Rouge. We know how to act civilized. I love it. Unnamed texter, country pleasing text line. Country pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast says, when we won the 08 national JUCO title at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College in football, we rushed the field. He said, not the same, though. Well, it is the same. It's just not as many people there or not as many watching. But it is the same. The excitement's the same. Unnamed texter, I'll have this. Stormed the field after the 6-3 Bama upset. Unbelievable. So we have someone listening here who texted in who was not only at the upset of number 1 Alabama by John Bond and State back in 1980 here in Jackson, but actually participated in storming the field afterwards. Well, what I want to know is things like this. When you stormed the field, did you come in contact with any of the players? Who was it? What did they say? What did you do? Did you bump into Bear Bryant? How'd that go? Did they make you leave? How long did you stay out there? Did you tear down the goalposts? I got a million questions. Somebody else texted and said, let's be real. Arkansas officials know a big win won't happen anytime soon. 3 minutes. Y'all wait 3 minutes. Give us 3 minutes. Olivier, he texted the show on the country pleasing text line. He said, Arkansas preparing for a, quote, big win is the same as me preparing to buy the drinks in the clubhouse after a hole-in-one. Same chances, huh? What you saying, Olivier? Like it could happen. Technically, it could happen, but probably won't. Is that what you're saying? Fred texted the show. He said, strolled on the field after the state win over Arkansas to win the West. It was surreal, but a great memory. Fred, okay, was that Brian? He wore number 36, I think, for us. And he played some on special teams. Great guy. I want to say he was from Florida, and I can't remember Brian's last name, but I think that was the game where didn't the goalpost come down? And Brian was on the crossbar when it came down. He came falling down out of the sky with it. Somebody caught him. I don't think he got hurt too bad. Mailman David says, bigger question is, what's the over-under on how many times they have that opportunity? I mean, that's what I was looking at on the schedule. Again, just, it's not going to be the games you can rule out. I mean, obviously the road games, but home games, you can rule out Alabama A&M, Arkansas State. You can probably rule out Auburn and Mississippi State, too, this year. So, really, the only ones are Notre Dame in week 5 when they host Notre Dame. The A&M thing, I mean, it's their home game, but it's not going to be at Fayetteville, right? Because they play that in Dallas. And then the season finale at Missouri. I mean, hosting Missouri. That'd be about it. It's almost like they put this thing in for Notre Dame. Really, I mean, that's how it feels. It feels like Arkansas put this rule or this thing in that this is what we're going to do strictly for the Notre Dame game on September 27th. J-Rock texts the show, says, would they rush the field if they pulled off a big win against Mississippi State? Well, they probably should, J-Rock. They haven't beat State, much in recent history. State's kind of had their number a lot recently. State grad 98 says, I stormed the field in either 89 or 90 when State won their regional. Met Coach Polk and a ton of players, Burke Masters, John Shave, Cohen, Tracy Eccles, Bobby Reed, and John Harden signed baseball cards for me. Now that's neat. So you were just a kid, you have them in your pocket and you will go out and get them signed after the ball game. That's pretty neat. All right, Ready Teddy says that is not, quote, rushing the field. Right. I mean, it really isn't. If you wait 3 minutes, it's going out on the field, but it's not storming it, is it? It's a good point, Teddy. All right, just getting started. Y'all stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. We got that. What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia.com. Back with you. I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Go! With the home team. They are your home team. Get on in here. Lots of comments on the live stream for y'all that are out there in YouTube land. Coming to your comments in just a second. And here on the text line, the Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. Teddy brought up a great point. Okay, Arkansas says to the fans, don't rush the field. If you'll just wait, so just hang on. We'll put a clock up there that'll count down 3 minutes. When it gets to 0, you wait 3 minutes. You can storm all you want to storm. Well, Teddy says, technically, that's really not, quote unquote, rushing the field. It's right. It's like you're standing around for 3 minutes and twiddle your thumbs and then whoosh. I mean, it's really not, is it? Good point. Jake from Yazoo stormed the field in 2002. He says Ole Miss in Oxford versus Florida. Eli versus Rex Grossman. Got to the 50-yard line, felt pretty dumb. He saw a kid on the goalpost 20 years younger than me. Yeah, but why'd you feel dumb, Jake? It just, what, were you kind of by yourself all alone or something? Yeah, regarding the 98 Arkansas game, which state won the West, and I also had Bulldog Blood on X say that same game, State versus Arkansas, 1998. He said, I still have a piece of that goalpost from that one. Kudzu Dog also responded and said, it's the only time I've stormed the field in that particular game. Fred said, yeah, you're correct. The goalposts were broken up, and I saw part of one in a Jeep on the way back to Newton. That's great. You know, Fred, the goalpost thing is fascinating, right? Because I guess it used to be easier to break them. And you've seen, like, that clip of those goalposts coming down and our football player in uniform up on the crossbar tumbling down with it. You see that video all over the place. You know, when you've watched highlight videos and go back and look, and they used to show it on TV and stuff. 2 years earlier, 96 Alabama. I don't know if y'all remember that, but you probably do, because at that time it was a big deal. 96, we beat Alabama in Starkville. That was State's first win over Alabama in like 15 years. Well, since 80, okay? And so there was a big field storming after that game. And my friend, who at one time we were roommates, great guy, his name's Joe Cowart, with a T. I think Joe may live in Louisville or somewhere around Louisville, but he was from Mobile. He'd gone to high school in Mobile, and Joe was a walk-on offensive lineman. I've told y'all stories about Joe before. He was like everybody's favorite mechanic. Anything car-related, he could fix it, had the tools with him. It was amazing. He was a whiz. And so handy with just about anything. So Joe, I don't know how, and he'd have to get in here and tell me the story. I'm going to have to call Joe one of these days and get him to tell the story. But at his apartment I think it wasn't his apartment. Now that I think back, it was one of the fraternities that got a hold of him and brought him in that night because they had marched, the uprights to that fraternity house after the Alabama, marched it up the street to that fraternity house. They brought Joe in because he had the tools, and he welded and sawed that thing into pieces. Now, I don't think Joe did I don't think he's responsible for cutting up the goalposts in 98 Arkansas, but I know he's responsible so you see anybody that's got a piece of the goalpost from the 96 Alabama win, Joe Cowart, walk-on offensive lineman, is the one who sawed that thing into pieces all night long. I don't know if they paid him for it or not. They should have. J-Rock texts the show and says, I agree with Ready Teddy. That's not storming the field. That's meet and greet. Attaboy, J-Rock. You and Teddy on the same page. Wait 3 minutes? Because, really, if we were right now, especially on the radio, if we were to hit a stopwatch and wait 3 minutes before we said anything, it's an eternity when you are waiting, anticipating. Okay? 3 minutes. J-Rock's like, that's not storming the field. That's meet and greet. Meet me at the 50. Oh, that is funny. There's a lot of truth in that. Okay. All right, here we go. Over to the live stream, too. I got to get caught up here. Russell commented earlier. He's on YouTube. He said, do you think Camario will redshirt? That's a good question. I can't give you a straight answer. I'm certain that the best case scenario for him would be to redshirt and not burn a year of eligibility here this year. That's the best case scenario for him and the team. Whereas, so you can play up to 4 games, you get all the snaps they want you to get your feet wet. Your other guys are healthy, so you're not forced into it. Does that make sense? But it all depends. If somebody gets hurt, he probably doesn't redshirt. Here's another if.
To him is this here.
So you're queuing on
Hey,
both.
Beeve, you coming through.
So to hear them is the queue over here, and then
if somebody else doesn't, well, let's just say Cromanhawk. Okay, if Camario elevates and he's hands down the next best quarterback behind Blake, then maybe maybe in that scenario, and certainly injuries. But, would they want to? I would think everybody would want to, because now you can you could play 4 full ball games and still redshirt, you see. But, so I can see a lot of ifs. If throughout the course of camp, we still have days and weeks left in the early games, shows himself to be too valuable a weapon, and he's ready to not only play but to actually help you win all the games, then you may play him. I'm saying there's just a lot of ifs. So for me, you're asking me, Matt, do you think he will redshirt? I would think that's probably the plan, but it's just a plan. All kinds of things can get thrown out of the window there. Hey, Danny, he said, Hail State, Matt, definitely ready for college football to begin. Yeah, so get some games on Saturday. 1 week from tonight, you get Missouri playing somebody, Central Arkansas, in their season opener, so it'll be here before you know it. Will commented, he said, I've seen a lot of top-tier teams playing against have the center get right over the ball as soon as possible to quiet the crowd and then send the play in. Oh, you're talking about State and the Cowbells. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. And then maybe there's a little bit of, kind of personal interpretation with the league or the referees or something. I don't know. We're talking records, preseason predictions here. Hail State fans said on YouTube, I don't think we're going to be 4-0 when we play the Vols at home. If somehow we were undefeated and beat the Vols, I have a feeling some will rush Scott Field to release the several years of frustration. Well, yeah, because, I mean, also try to fully put yourself in everybody's shoes at that point, Hail State fan. It's a massive if. When you think about how bad that team was, how just bad State was a year ago, to, be anywhere near good enough to start off 4-0 with a win over a college football playoff team from a year ago. It's a massive if. And so if that, then you're going to be sitting there and everybody else is on pins and needles the rest of the way going, I can't believe what's happening. Really? So then, yeah, maybe. Will said, if you storm the field, make sure you have backup. Don't be like that kid in a banana costume that was arrested for storming the court when he beat Tennessee in basketball 2 years ago. I know they let him go by himself, didn't they? Said he rushed the court and his friends and all the students didn't back him up. They were like, hey, where's Joey? He ran out there. He's getting arrested. Yeah, I know. You're saying have backup. Blind Squirrel said Georgia fans learned not to storm the field when the barn turned the sprinklers on them. When did that happen? I'm not familiar with that story, and I would love to know more about it. So what year are we talking about there? Let's see. Paramedic Jay, so what's the YouTube channel name? It's just Matt Wyatt Media, I believe is the name of it on YouTube. And the live stream of the show goes out, and then there's some content there that I post, including some film study stuff. Hey, and I probably should have told y'all this earlier in the week, but a couple of days ago, I posted it's a very long video because it has, I think, 14 plays where, I broke them down and illustrated them like a film study video of Southern Miss's quarterback this year, Braylon Braxton, the kid who transferred from Marshall, and it's looking at some of the things he did last year at Marshall. Kid was really good. And so you may want to watch that. That video's posted on the YouTube channel there, and so you can check it out that way. All right. I still feel like we're just getting started, halfway point of hour number 1 here today on this Thursday. A lot to get to. Thanks for the texts and the comments so far. Got the phone line open, so give me a shout on the Junction phone, and we'll talk to you when we come back. Right after this, in the Bureau. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Deli's, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960s. Pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton. We say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? You don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt Radio Show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire. Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world.
in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that, everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone, because you
1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. Give me a call on the all-new Junction phone line, fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling central Mississippi since 1960. Number to call is 897-1059, just like the radio station, 1059, 897-1059. You can text me also on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-3776. Coming to your text over here in just a minute, Grumpy and State Grad and Delta Tide fan and Jake from Yazoo and all y'all. More comments on the live stream. John was asking, how did I find you on YouTube? He found us. Welcome in, John. He's on YouTube. Got Will and Hail State fan and Blind Squirrel, our favorite Georgia fan here, and all that. But hey, I want to note something real quick. For those that are on the live stream, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, the game that is on my TV in the studio right now, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team, is the 1986 Mississippi State at Tennessee game, the Don Smith game. Rocky Felker and Don Smith go to Tennessee and beat the defending SEC champs in Knoxville in week 2 of the 86 season. See him right there? There's Don Smith right there, number 15. And when this thing was, before the show began, I'm in here just getting ready, turning everything on. And I turned it on, and that's what was on there. I turned up the volume. And this is one of those SEC on TBS games. Remember that? Back in the day, 80s, maybe early 90s even, the SEC had a deal with TBS, WTBS, Superstation WTBS out of Atlanta that carried the Braves games to do SEC football. And the announcers were Bob Neal, Dave Neal's dad, and a guy named Tim Foley that I think Tim played at like Miami or played at Florida State, and then he played like for the Miami Dolphins in the NFL. He became like a multi-millionaire in that. What is it? Is it Amway where you'd sell stuff? Like he was a great salesman, something like that. I know some people in Tupelo that know him or knew him and the family coming up. Anyway, they used to do a broadcast. And so they were doing the pregame deal, and they start talking about Don Smith, State's quarterback, who then turned out to have this incredible game to beat Tennessee in Knoxville. Well, there was a couple of things that jumped out at me. One was I thought I heard Tim Foley say, as he was bragging about Don Smith, that from Hamilton, Mississippi, that Don Smith went something like 60-0 or like 64-0 or something like that in high school. Now, does that sound right? I know I heard him say something like it was something and in high school. Does that sound right to y'all? I'd have to go back and look that up, which if it's true, it's just kind of mind-boggling, right? For those of us that played regular high school football where you won some and lost some, I mean, to play 4 years in high school, never lose a ball game. How could you do that? How many games would you have to play a year? What would you play, 15 a year? That'd be 60, wouldn't it? If you played 15 a year. But anyway, I digress. Because I guess he could have been on the high school team in the 8th grade. But anyway, he made it sound like he never lost a high school game in Hamilton. I didn't know that. And then the other thing that he said was, he was kind of like a mainstay with Mississippi State's offense. And Tim Foley's comment was trying to imagine a Mississippi State offense without Don Smith is like trying to imagine the Supremes without Diana Ross. That was his comparison. And it really got me to thinking about Don Smith. And then a buddy of mine from Tupelo, my man Ron, texted me and he goes, is Don Smith the greatest non-talked about quarterback in Mississippi State history? What was his words exactly? Yeah, is Don Smith the most non-talked about quarterback in state history? And he might be, and he shouldn't be. I mean, think about it. Because didn't he go and play in the NFL? See, I need to learn, but he played a different position, am I right? Played running back or something in the NFL? It's just incredible. Okay. Speaking of Mississippi State quarterbacks that we ought to talk about more often, John Bond. The John Bond, number 13 in your program, number 1 or 2 in your heart, depending on who you ask, right, John? I'm just kidding. John said that Don Smith never lost a game in high school. Can you imagine? And then he had to throw this one in there. John said, he was my backup. Yeah, okay. Man, he's something else. Okay, and again, a memory lane, and I promise I'm coming to your comments. When, the 86 deal, I don't know how we got into talking about it, but when I ran into Rocky Felker just a few weeks ago when Mississippi State had the what was it? The career fair thing for the football team, and I got to go to that. There was Coach Felker. We get to talking. Next thing you know, at some point I bring up something about beating Tennessee or whatever. He starts recounting, Coach Felker starts recounting some of the things that went on that year in 86. And I didn't realize it at the time when he was telling me these things. I've since looked it up. But that 86 team, imagine this start to the season. They start the year at Syracuse in 86. They go up there. Syracuse was good, had good players. Was McPherson their quarterback then? Anyway, they go to Syracuse, beat them up there in the season opener at Syracuse, beat them 24-17. So they're 1-0. Hadn't played a home game, so they're away in week 1. Week 2, you got to go to Knoxville and play the defending SEC champions and Johnny Majors and them. Go to Tennessee, beat them. Tennessee was ranked 8th in the country. Beat them 27-23. You're 2-0. 2-0 with wins at Syracuse and at Tennessee. And week 3, you come home to Jackson, Mississippi, Memorial Stadium, play Southern Miss, and Southern Miss beat them 28-24. So you're 2-1 with wins at Syracuse and at Tennessee, a loss at home to Southern Miss. And what did they do next? Week 4, Starkville, host the Florida Gators, beat them 16-10. So started the season 3-1 with wins over Syracuse, Tennessee, and Florida, and a loss to Southern Miss in Jackson, Mississippi. I said, Coach, man, what a roller. He said, oh, man. He says, you don't even know. Let's see, the rest of 86, they beat Memphis in Memphis, blew them out. Beat Arkansas State at home, blew them out. I bet that was homecoming. Went to New Orleans, beat Tulane. Hosted Auburn, who was ranked 7th. This is 86 and lost bad, 35-6. Next week, hosted Alabama, lost bad, 38-3. Next week, hosted LSU in Jackson, got embarrassed, 47-0, and then finished the year getting whipped by Ole Miss in Jackson, 24-3. So started with a bang and then kind of ended with a fizzle. That was in 86. All right. Here we go. Over to the phone line, the Junction phone line, fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. On the Junction phone, line 1, it's Napoleon. Thanks for calling, Napoleon. What's up?
How you doing?
Doing great, man. What's up?
Yesterday when you was talking about the lunch, dinner thing?
Yeah.
The breakfast, dinner, supper thing?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah, I got you. I can hear you.
Uh-huh.
I can hear you fine. I think you're having a hard time hearing me.
Okay, now when you were talking about that, I grew up here in Jackson, and and I go out in the country, and that's the way it was with us, breakfast, dinner, and stuff.
Okay. So you didn't say lunch?
No, we didn't say lunch. It was always dinner, then supper.
Okay.
So I don't, where you come from probably was different. But now, I want to call you about your prediction. Mississippi State and Southern this year, who gonna win?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think State will win because they have they probably do have more depth, but it's so unknown, and I really do think that quarterback at Southern Miss gives them a chance to not only hang in the game, but maybe to win it. I still think State will win, but I expect a really good ball game.
Okay, I got one more prediction, and I'm going to leave you alone.
Okay.
Jackson State and Southern, who you think going to win that?
I'll go with Jackson State. I sure hope Jackson State wins that. I know you do too. Napoleon, thanks for the call. Call me anytime. Hour 2 coming up. Hour 1 in the books, in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Whee! Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
To call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both. Break me off a piece of that. Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com, at a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country.
Live at the Zone 105.9 and worldwide.
Now, here we go.
At the Zone 105.9.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. Yeah, so what do you want to get into? Anything's cool with me here on this Thursday, getting inch by inch, hour by hour, closer and closer to some football. It's going to matter. You may have preseason stuff tonight. I haven't even looked. Well, don't tell me. I'll look it up. We having Thursday night preseason games. We did the first week? Then last week it was a Friday. Yeah, okay, you got them. Final preseason game. All right, so tonight, NFL Network, Panthers, Steelers. It's in Charlotte. And then that's at 6. And then at 7 on Amazon. Prime Video. Giants and Patriots. That's in New Jersey. And you're probably going to get to watch Jackson Dart play some more preseason football. Tell you, he's fun to watch now. He has been really good in the preseason for the Giants. And, of course, they project, what's his name, Russell Wilson, to be the starter. But, we'll see how long that lasts. And this being the final preseason game, maybe Dart plays a bunch. I don't know. I'll turn it on tonight to see. We shall see. Got headlines coming up. I got your comments here on the live stream. Coming to those. Your texts on the Country Pleasing text line. And if you want to text me, get on in here. I'm about to hit them up. 885-3776 is the number. 885-3776. That's the number to text. It's a 601 number. That's the Country Pleasing text line. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves everywhere. Everywhere. I'm still on that jalapeno and cheddar. Next up for me, I'm going to eat that pork and pineapple I bought. Man, maybe I ought to just get into that early. I don't have to finish one before I start the other, do I? I don't know. You can also call me on the brand new Junction phone line, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Fueling Central Mississippi since 1960, and on the aforementioned Junction phone line, Junction delis around the state. On line 1, it is Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona. What's up, Jason?
Nothing much. You hear me all right?
Loud and clear.
All right, yeah, this is off topic for today. It's something I kind of missed yesterday, and I think it was Winslow and somebody else, maybe in Spin or whatever on the YouTube thing, we're talking about doing a special on the 1941 team.
Well, yeah, we kicked the idea around.
It didn't hit me until later, but anybody that does that might want to look into doing a piece on that whole World War II time frame. I remember reading a book, I think that it was called They Bled Maroon.
Okay.
It covered the whole history of state up until, I think, the mid-'90s. And it's just fascinated me. There was several years there, or at least one year, where they had the regular football team, and then they fielded a couple of ROTC teams. Auburn and A&M did, too.
Huh. So,
anyway.
But wait a minute. You said they fielded ROTC teams that were different teams from the regular team?
Yeah.
Huh.
I know. I remember the book specifically stated, I think Auburn and Texas A&M did it too, and maybe in other schools during World War II.
During the war. So the ROTC fielded football teams, and they kept playing. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I guess I
remember it being fascinating. I've looked for that book for years, but I don't want to buy it secondhand.
Yeah.
For $100.
Yeah, I got you. And you said
that in the
that
libraries around town.
you said the title of it was what? Some bleed maroon?
They Bled Maroon.
They Bled.
It's the history of Mississippi State football from. I remember it was in the mid '90s. Okay. I was in high school when I read it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out. I appreciate the heads up on that. I'm fascinated with it too. I really am.
Yeah.
You know, and
all right, then I'll.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, and Jason, for those of it like our generation, it's kind of crazy to get old enough, isn't it? Where now, you know, it was our grandparents and our great uncles who fought in World War II, and now we're about to live long enough. It will have been 100 years ago, real soon. Hard to imagine.
Yeah, where I'm at, there's they make a big deal about these the Navajo code talkers because their reservation is right here.
Okay.
And last I heard, there's only 3 left. So it's winding down.
Right. 3 of them still left, though.
It's heartbreaking, really. But yeah, I'll get off here and listen.
All right.
Y'all have a good one.
You too, Jason. Appreciate that. I would love to get my hands on that book. That sounds interesting. I would love to read it. Appreciate the phone call on the Junction phone line. Junction Delis, powered or fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. Fuel for your vehicle, fuel for your belly. For an example, I don't know which one, but it's one of the Junction Delis around the state. And there is, it's on X, used to be Twitter. I retweeted it this morning, the Junction Deli. Because they had a video, somebody showing what was in one of their delis, you know, all the hot food. And, man, you talk about looking good. Man, it looked good. You can check it out. Country pleasing sausage in there. At, I don't know, maybe just about all of them. All right, here we go. On the text line, somebody texted in and said, I think State's secondary will be the key to the year, will be the key to this year. Maybe so. I mean, you know, everything's big. They're all big, but I'm kind of stuck on the line of scrimmage deal. And I think part of that for me is having to watch every single snap in person last year. It became hard to watch. So I'm sticking with the line of scrimmage. Delta Tide fan texted the show and said a 3-minute wait to storm the field is long enough for an entire student section of students at the game to get on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and talk smack about the NCAA for a stupid rule. Well, you're right about that. Here's what he's talking about. It's in headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Headline number 1. Arkansas says they're going to allow field rushing, but after a 3-minute delay so that they will avoid fines. You won't get fined if you wait before you run out there. And the reason is to let the other team and the referees get out of there. So, story, it came out yesterday. Arkansas will allow football fans to rush the field following big wins, but only after a delay. The SEC's policy is you get fined $500,000, $500,000. It applies to each incident across all sports. Now, the conference can waive the fine if the visiting team and officials are allowed to get to the locker rooms before all this stuff happens. So they announced yesterday at Arkansas they're going to put if a big win happens, they're going to put 3 minutes on the video board. Wait till it hits 0. It'll delay the rush. It'll allow the visiting team and staff and officials to get off the field, and maybe you don't get fined. And Ready Teddy texted us earlier, and he said, you know, if you wait 3 minutes, it's really not rushing the field, is it? No, it's really not. 1 week from tonight, Missouri is going to open their season on Thursday night hosting Central Arkansas, and they have announced that their quarterback competition will go into the first game. They're going to play them all in the first game and then decide. Missouri is going to use 2 quarterbacks next Thursday night. They have a competition going between somebody named Bo, I don't know, Pribula, and Sam Horn. Those are the two. They're both going to play in next week's game. It'll be a part of the competition. Now, I don't have to get into it. If you care, you can let me know, but I think it is a terrible thing to do. It's ridiculous for a college coach and a staff to announce it. I mean, it's dumb. But anyway, all you got to do is go play them. Well, we haven't named one. We'll see how we feel the day of the game. Just leave it up in the air. Make your decision. We need to tell everybody we are going to use the first game as part of our competition, and the best player in that game will win the job. You do you. And finally, also from college football, Northwestern and former football coach Pat Fitzgerald have settled a lawsuit. They let him go a couple of years ago because of that hazing stuff. Fired him. He said, wrongful termination. Sued the school for $130 million. So now they've settled it, and we don't know the terms. Somebody got something, though. I know that much. And those are your headlines. Brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Anything mortgage related, buying, refinancing, that's where you go. Start there at mortgagemanms.com. mortgagemanms.com. Here we have on YouTube, State Championships Radio Network. How do you like this new development coming to Starkville between campus and the Cotton District? Well, I think it's really neat. I saw it yesterday. They're calling it the Crossroads deal. And it's in a fantastic spot, and the renderings look fantastic. And, for that section of land, which sort of the only thing separating it from the actual campus is that part of Highway 12 that just runs right up through there. And it's very visible, and it's right next to campus. And it's like, the renderings make it look like when it's done, I think the hotel will be done next year, and then 2 years, 27, you get the whole thing done. It's just going to really super duper modernize everything. And, practically also, it makes it a whole different sort of game day type of place because it's close to the vicinity of the stadium and all with where it is over there. It just, that whole area becomes a whole different game day kind of area with football in mind. So I think it's really, really neat. Look good. Caleb, my man Caleb Hamill said, howdy, Matt. Back at you, Caleb. Howdy. Howdy. People don't say howdy enough. They say hey and what's up and all that other stuff. What about howdy? Whatever happened to howdy? Hale State fan said it was 86. Auburn was ranked 8th. Same year MSU won in Knoxville. All right. Regarding Don Smith in high school, he never lost a game. Let's see. Hamilton was undefeated from 80 to 82. The year before, 79, they went 9-1. JS290 said he grew up with Don Smith, said he did play running back for the Bills, so college quarterback, running back in the NFL. Lou commented on YouTube, said at a baseball camp one year, I met Don. He took me to his dorm room, dug out a shirt, and gave it to me. Greatest moment as a kid. Now, how about that? That's really cool. Okay, and Lou, I noticed this too. Okay, and maybe it's because I'm old. But again, for those that are on the live stream, you can see this on YouTube and Facebook on the TV in the studio over my shoulder there. It's a YouTube video of the 1986 Mississippi State Tennessee game. And man, that's some really good looking uniforms that State was wearing back in 86. Go check those out. Lou says, P.S., those uniforms are sick. Bring them back. See, sick means good. We'd have to tell somebody from 1986 that, sick meant good. It means they're really good. Yeah, I think they look good. I agree, Danny. He said if you open one package of country pleasing sausage before you finish one that's already open, just don't tell Mama about it. And this is an interesting tidbit. Hail State fan says on YouTube, Don Smith's last carry in the NFL was the first touchdown in Super Bowl 25. How about that? The final carry you ever had was a TD. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Will. Spreading the word. The good news there. He said, give the stream a like if y'all haven't. Yeah, give it a little thumbs up there. Appreciate you. And then, yes, the book, Will found it. The book that Jason was talking about in the phone call on the Junction phone was called They Bled Maroon, Mississippi State Athletics from 1895 to 1995. David Smale wrote it. You know, I can't see that word Smale and not think about Caddyshack. Judge Smales. Spalding, get your foot off the boat. But I digress. All right, the country pleasing text line. Jake from Yazoo says, maybe like a jet ski, fun for the first 50 yards, and then you're ready to get off the water. What is he talking about? Oh, yeah. Okay, the storming the field. He said he stormed the field in 2002 at Oxford. It was Ole Miss and then beat Florida. He said he got to the 50-yard line, and then he felt dumb about it. Saw a kid on the goalpost that was 20 years younger than him. And I said, why? And he said, yeah, like jet ski, fun for the first 50 yards, and then you're let's get out of here. Yeah, I mean, really, it is, Jake. If you ever sprint out to midfield to do anything, you get out there and you realize, boy, this is a big open space. And it's a lot quieter out here than they told me it would be. And that was always my experience. State Grad 98 said he didn't have TBS back then, but he watched it. And he's met Foley, a really nice guy. Tim Foley, yeah. He and Bob Neal used to call those games, those SEC on TBS. They were usually day games, and they were a good crew. Bob Neal. So I grew up watching, when I first started paying attention, to college football, it would have been somewhere in the neighborhood of about 88. Before that, I just didn't really care that much. All I thought about was baseball. It was Atlanta Braves or nothing. And then, that was pretty much it for me as a kid growing up. And then right about 88, I would have been close to, about the sixth grade, maybe 6th or 7th grade, and around 88, somewhere in there. And so I started to pay attention to it a little bit. And then I really got interested in 1990. I was in the 8th grade. It was the first year I played football, and sort of fell in love with it. That's when I started paying attention. So some of the first games I ever watched when I started following it as a kid were those games on TBS and Bob Neal and Tim Foley. And so I always knew who they were and recognized the names and the voices. It was really cool for me in 2007, way after college, all that. I've been out of school for not 10 years, but when I graduated in 2000. I've been 7 years out of school, and I started to call some of the games on CSS for Mississippi State. Y'all remember that? Back before SEC Network stuff, every now and then you'd have obscure games on that CSS out of Atlanta. And so I can't remember if it was a season opener, but it was an early game in the year in 2007, State at Tulane in the Superdome. And Bob Neal was the play-by-play guy, and I was the color analyst for the broadcast. And so I was a little bit I don't get starstruck. I was a little bit starstruck. And I got to work with Bob Neal, and it was just really cool. Really nice guy. Kind of grew up watching him. Dave Neal's dad. Bob used to do, I want to say he did Atlanta Hawks games and stuff in the NBA for a long time. Hunter texted. He said, hey, Matt, I was talking about you and your show with my dad. Said, I mentioned you played professional football in Germany. Then he asked if you ever played for the Fire. They were a team in Birmingham and moved to Europe, but he couldn't remember which city. They were the Rhine Fire, weren't they? I was in Hamburg, or as they say over there, Hamburg. And it was the Hamburg Blue Devils of the GFL, the German Football League. QB1 texted the show, said, would love to hear your thoughts on the state athletics department bringing back the interlocking MSU helmets. didn't know if that resonated with you more since you wore it. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I've got mine over here. Hang on, I'll show you on the live stream. Hold tight. Hold tight. It's right here. Got dust all over it. I'm embarrassed to show you this. It was on the bottom shelf, kind of stuck away. But this is my helmet that I wore during the '99 season. So it was my senior year, so I got to keep it when it was all said and done. See the old bike helmet with the air bladder in there and everything. But anyway, that's what I wore in the '99 season. It still got the logo. Look at all that dust on the top of that helmet. Look at this. Isn't that terrible? Dust that thing off, Matt. Good gracious alive. But yeah, and this one, I was looking at the logo, the decal that we wore on the helmets, the Interlocking MSU late 90s, it was a white decal, white letters on the maroon helmet. But if you look really closely right there, QB1, there's a black outline in there around the letters. I don't know if they have that now or not. Anyway, yeah, that's mine. And I do think it looks great. It really resonates with the fan base, and so it's a lot of fun to see it. I think it's a good thing. And why not? State from a logo and insignia type of thing. It's just they're not Tennessee or Alabama, who's always had one and that's it, and that's the only one. So if you're not in that we have always had one and we're going to stick with it group, then have some fun with it. And if the team and the kids like it, and I do think what they've shown us they're going to wear, I think all those versions, they do look good to me. They've done a good job with them. So yeah, I like it. All right, more of your texts, your phone calls, your comments when we come back on this Thursday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. Back after this.
This is Jake Mangum, former Mrs.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Deli's, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction.
All right, back with you. Rolling along here today on this Thursday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team. Grumpy texted and said, now this was earlier and I think I didn't get to it earlier, so let me back up. He said, Matt, with a picture here, Matt, Grumpy does plan to be in his seat in beautiful Jack Reynolds Stadium on November the 1st. Hopefully Arkansas fans will have no reason to slow roll the turf. Hail State. And then he says, okay, first on that, he sent me a picture of he and his family. They were bundled up for cold weather, standing in front of that fountain there that's got the Razorback Hogs sculpture there on the campus of Arkansas. And look, I just got through texting with Hog Jowl about it, Grumpy, because I'm looking forward to that also. It's a great time of year. I will say, like, even a couple of weeks later would be better probably in terms of what leaves changing and stuff. But, you know, first weekend in November, really the first day of November, we may get to see some, but it's just a beautiful part of the country to me. I really love driving up there, seeing everything. And there's a couple of towns and big bodies of water. It's just a fun trip. So I look forward to being up there also. He says, Matt, when you were at the MSU Career Fair, was your diagnosis hardcore unemployable? Oh, we didn't have a career fair that I remember when I was playing ball. We didn't get to do that. But I'm sure some would have thought, nope, can't hire that guy. Can't hire him, I'm sure. Kenny, don't call me Ken, texted the show. He said, I was doing some research on another item and scrolled past this. A distant cousin played at State and never knew it. How about that? There's the article. MSU two-a-days nearing end. What year would that have been, Kenny? I can just tell by the haircut it's way back. Steven texted and said, you talking about Don Smith made me think of it. 2 cool road games I went to as a kid was the game where Don Smith ran up the sideline to beat Tennessee in Rocky Felker's first year as coach. Yeah, that would have been 86. That's that game that's on the monitor here in the studio. I said I was also at the Texas game, one of Jackie Sherrill's first years, where Sleepy Robinson and Greg Plump put it on him. Yeah, and that was the famous, the whole motivational technique before the game and all. Caleb texts on the country pleasing text line. He says, what's crazy about that 1941 team is that they were playing a game at San Francisco the day before Pearl Harbor was attacked, and the team was scared the Japanese would come there next since they were on the Pacific coast. How about that? I mean, yeah, it's just any sport, anything took a back seat to everything else that was really important then. But Can you imagine? Yeah, college kid. And I think they were maybe a little different then, maybe a little more mature. But still, it happened right there on the Pacific Coast, and then boom, you're right there in San Francisco. Somebody was telling us some of those guys, basically when it went and signed up, when that happened, to heck with everything else. We got to go fight. And they did. All right. Here we go. Back over to the Junction phone line, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil, fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. Fuel for your vehicle, fuel for your stomach. On line one, it is Ready Teddy. What's up, Teddy?
Matt, two things. I got cut off yesterday because it's just how it is in the radio business.
That's right.
Time specific, but didn't get to finish. So Mississippi State and Ole Miss both have former quarterbacks excelling, and I believe it's Sawyer Robertson at Baylor.
Yep.
Had a good year last year. Expected to have a good year this year, and Luke Altmaier at Illinois. So that, even though they're not in our state anymore, that I still like to see our former players do well, wherever they go. Secondly, I don't know, Kenny, don't call me Ken, but I wouldn't copycat him, but I am Teddy, don't call me Ted. I cannot stand when somebody takes the liberty of calling me Ted. And at an early age, I figured out how to get Teddy out of people and not Ted.
How's that?
If you call me Ted, I will 100% ignore you like you're not speaking to me. That is the only way I've gotten people to stop calling me Ted.
All right. So there you go.
And they normally say, well, they'll say, hey, man, I'm talking to you. I'm like, you said Ted. I'm not Ted.
Mm-hmm.
And so just people really shouldn't take liberty to shorten people's names. If they, Michael may want to be Michael. He may not want to be Mike.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, let me ask you this, though.
Don't call me Ted.
Does Beaver take it too far the other way, though? Because he doesn't call me Matt. He calls me Matt Wyatt. In every conversation, I'm Matt Wyatt, not Matt. Does he take it too far the other way?
I don't think so, because especially in your line of work, you become synonymous where you're known as Matt Wyatt, not just Matt.
All right.
I mean, I got a friend named Robert. Well, he's not with us anymore, but I've got a friend named Robert Little, and we always called him Robert Little, full first and last name. And,
yeah, that's funny.
I mean, you don't. Whenever you name like Matt, you don't have to clarify when you say Matt Wyatt.
Okay. I see.
Then you get it.
Yeah, I got you. All right.
But I understand. All right, man. Enjoy the show. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. So, the kid from Starboy went to Ole Miss, and now he's Altmaier. He's the starter there at Illinois. Played well last year. And then Sawyer Robertson. And Sawyer is a great example of, he's a good example for a lot of us in looking at, you can kind of see the span of his career to this point, because most of us remember when he was signed and came in under Mike Leach and that staff, and was good in high school, all the tools and everything, but in the scrimmages and stuff at state, he always really struggled and didn't seem ready to run a football team. Okay, and you keep working, hang around, go to school. Keep working, hang around, go to school. Just keep on working. Transfer to Baylor when you had the coaching change. It's understandable. Goes there, got thrown onto the field because of some injury stuff there, and early on struggled. Didn't really look like he was ready to, run the whole thing. And you thought, man, but then the development just eventually it takes hold, or sets in or sets up, whatever you want to call it. And then when it does that, then that height and speed and athletic ability and the cool heartbeat and the arm strength, and you start using it. And now look at him. Lots of success, highly thought of, and capable of running the whole show, because it's all about sort of the decisions you make. And it's interesting to see how that happens. Those guys, at quarterback position, as much or more so than any of the others, really is about the mental development and maturation you go through to get to a point where you're ready to handle it in your head, right? And be the decision maker. It's so much more that than it is about the physical part of stuff. Scott sent me this. So following his MSU career, Don Smith drafted in the second round of the 87 NFL draft by the Buccaneers. Also played for the Bills and had that touchdown in Super Bowl 25. Very cool. Never lost a game in high school. It's just hard to even fathom. Fred texted us, said, hey, Matt, a bunch of the 41 team went to Duke as Marine ROTC candidates. Oh, okay. Duke only lost to Navy while they were playing. Then they went to war in Okinawa. A bunch of the guys on the 41 team at state. Man, just fascinating. Incredible story. I mean, it really should have been, written about and told more probably, but, that's how things go. Unnamed texter said, moved to Mississippi 4 years ago from Illinois. Grew up an Illini fan. Illini looked pretty good this year. Too bad Mississippi State couldn't hire Bielema. He'd be a great fit in Starkville. What do y'all think about that? Here's an Illini fan. You think Brett Bielema would have been a good fit in Starkville? I don't know. I mean, after coaching in the conference at Arkansas, see, I kind of disagree. And it has nothing to do with, is he a good or a bad coach? That's not even it. He's a good coach. Seems like a great guy, but it's that whole thing of once you're in the conference at one school and you have a run and it kind of wears out, it's like it's too present, and it was the best thing for him to go to a Big Ten school that hadn't done much recently and build it up, which he has done, and good for him. I think Illinois is actually a much better fit than State. And appreciate you texting the show very much. All right, look, a little bit of time left with you, and we still have some texts to get to on the Country Pleasing text line and comments on the live stream. Phone line open to you, the Junction phone. And we'll wrap everything up next when we come back in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia blend. High Point Roasters coffee, New Albany, Mississippi. It is the best. Single origin from all over the world. Blends that they have come up with over the years are the oldest coffee roasters in Mississippi. Get you .com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. We have Missouri, that story out of Missouri in the headlines presented by the Mortgage Man Group about they're going to not name a starting quarterback. They're just going to let everybody play in the first game a week from tonight. Boomer Sooner texted the show on the Country Pleasing text line and said, hey, Matt, not naming a starting quarterback is not near as silly as having 3 different people call plays on 3 different downs. I mean, what in the world are they thinking at Auburn, if indeed that's true? Okay, maybe it's not true. Maybe it's not. But what in the world are they thinking? I've never heard of anything like that in my time. Maybe there have been people and teams who did that. They just didn't tell anybody. Okay. Well, in that case, what I would say sooner is, well, there's a reason you didn't tell anybody. Is because that's the kind of thing you might want to keep to yourself. It makes no sense whatsoever. It wouldn't make. I can't make it make sense in my head how you expect there to be continuity, letting different people in the headset be the ones responsible for calling a play, depending on whether it's first or second or third down. And then there's this guy, the head coach, who can overrule any of it at any time. How's it going to work? I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to me. And you know what, Boomer Sooner? Let's just call it what it is. It's dumb. Okay? I could certainly argue it's dumb to do it that way. Okay, well, maybe we'll see, whatever. But I am 100% confident it's dumb to tell everybody you're doing it. Why on earth? Just like it's dumb for Missouri to tell everybody, well, we're playing them both and we're going to evaluate them on Thursday night in the season opener, and that'll be our starter. Don't tell everybody. Just shut up. Keep it to yourself. Go play them. It would not even be a blip on anyone's radar if more than one quarterback played. if you said, well, you know, we like our guys, and in terms of, you know, a rotation or if who's going to play, that, you know, any of those decisions will be things we keep to ourselves. You know, show up to watch the game on Thursday night, you'll find out. I mean, just handle it that way. Now, the other side, I do understand we're in an era sooner where when it comes to these players, yes, they're college, quote unquote, kids, they're college age, but they're all being paid massive amounts of money. Most quarterbacks, yeah. And maybe with some coaches, their thought is, okay, well, the gloves are off. You're going to make $250,000 to be our quarterback here. Not only do I expect you to play well, but I'm going to stop babying you around in the media too. I can understand why someone might say that, but still it's a bad approach. It's why I don't pay attention to a lot of press conferences anymore. Gator Greg was asking about that, and I didn't say. Sometimes I will tune into the teleconference because you can just listen to it as they do it during the week. But in terms of actually driving or making the effort to go sit in a press conference, I'm not doing it because nobody ever says anything anyway. And really, they shouldn't. Why would they? Only the ones who aren't thinking give you sound bites. The rest of them, I mean, it's nothing. They just need to zip it. Okay, yeah, so it was Amway. I was talking about Tim Foley, the old TV announcer, former football player, and I knew he had hit it big like with Amway. And State grad 98, who met him, said he did try to sell me Amway, and he tried to get me to sell for him. And I think that was the deal. Hog Jowl texts the show, said, Matt, many, many college and professional athletes and famous movie stars served our country in World War II. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody seemed to have a role. And then there were some of the like, was it Audie Murphy, who was like a war hero and then became an actor after that? Jason in Flagstaff regarding Brett Bielema said, Bielema would have been good in Starkville during the Kroom era. That's what got him in Arkansas, though. The days of that old two-back I-formation Wisconsin offense working in the SEC had passed. And man, Bielema was a character too, boy. He was something. 2000 and I think this was maybe, it wouldn't have been 11 because in 2011 wasn't Petrino there, so it would have been after that. Maybe it was that 13 game where Tyler got hurt and then Dak got hurt and then Damian Williams finished the game, ran it in the end zone in overtime. I think maybe that was a game. It was one that we were anyway. We were in Little Rock, a game during the day. It was really cold, and during the pregame, which was like pretty early morning, so you're talking somewhere around 8:30 a.m. It was really nasty weather, like super cold, about 38 degrees, trying its best to sleet as it spit rain and everything. You know, everywhere you went, you could see your breath, you know. And some of the guys, you know, different teams were out there milling around, just getting loose early. They were all bundled up, you know. And there came Brett Bielema walking out there, and no joke, T-shirt, shorts, flip-flops, big tattoos on his calf, you know. He's got coffee, he's drinking some coffee. No hat, just T-shirt, shorts, freezing. Everybody, there were people out there dressed like, you know, they were going snow skiing, and here he is, literally flip-flops, shorts, T-shirt. I'm like, I like that guy. I like him. We'll see what kind of coach he is, but I like that guy. Grumpy texted and said, Matt, MSU's first All-American, 1940, Erwin Buddy Elrod, spent at least a year in Germany as a POW. Many 41 guys in San Francisco the next day took the train to L.A., signed up for military service. Signed, Hail State. What a story. Man, make a movie. I would love to see that. Unnamed texter regarding the 3 people calling plays at Auburn. Said 3 heads are better than 1, I guess. That's one way to look at it, but I would lean towards the old thing of, like platooning quarterbacks. If you don't have, in most cases, if you don't have one quarterback, you don't have any. Going, well, we got 3 guys we like. We got 2, we're going to play them both. In other words, you don't really have a single one who you want to hand the ball to in every situation. If you got 3 play callers, you really don't have one. That's really what this boils down to. And yes, Will, he was certainly an exception. Regarding the dull press conference, Will said at least Mike Leach would have entertaining press conferences. And the thing is, Coach Leach would a lot of times, when it was football related, he would say boring things in a non-boring way. If you go back and look at the football stuff he talked about, for the most part. It's when you could get him on other stuff. That was, really interesting. Hail State fan on YouTube. Somebody asked about the helmet, and I picked mine up. This was my helmet. It's here in the office from the 99 season. I kept it. That was my senior year, so I kept it when it was all over. And that's the actual one. And still, the pads are still soft. The only thing is, when I put this on now, Hail State fan on my head, it used to just slip right on my head. It was really comfortable. Now I have to squeeze it on there, and I look all fat-faced in it. My cheeks are all poking out. I'm like, man, my head has gotten bigger. But he said, I stood and had my hand over my heart when you showed your helmet. Best logo we've ever had for football. He said, it is to football what the M over S is to baseball. Well, maybe it should be. I'm all right. If they do it, I'll be fine with it. If they came out tomorrow and said, you know what? We are going back to that one right there, the 98-99 team logo on the helmet, interlocking, back when they had Nike uniforms. We're going back to that permanently. I'd go, all right, I like it. By the same token, when they showed the state script deal, I was like, I like that. It looks pretty good. Kind of like how it looks myself. Real quick, Jason in Flagstaff says on the text line, that game is exactly why I asked about Damian Williams, how it didn't work out the other day. He played well in relief of Dak. He sure did. And J-Rock said, Auburn coaching staff calling plays, and it shows 3 primates, one covering their ears, one covering their eyes, and one covering their mouth. Maybe, J-Rock. We'll just have to wait and see, won't we? It makes it interesting one way or the other. Been a fun show today. I really appreciate y'all. All the phone calls, the texts, the comments on the live stream. Thanks to Beaver, it doesn't happen without you. My man. For Beaver, I'm Matt. All of us here on the show. See you tomorrow. See ya.